2025, Kristian Blummenfelt. You did an amazing job this year, Kristian. Let's hear Team Norway.
Here we are, back again in Bergen. It's been now just over 2 weeks since the Ironman World Championship in Nice. And yeah, it's been spending most of the time, or probably the first 10 days of just doing easy training and letting the body sort of come back into it. And then starting softly with a little bit of intervals, and yeah, just came back from a little bit of hill reps on the bike. Felt quite good. Really enjoyed being back into like a solid rhythm now again, and yeah, like it was a slow start after Nice, but yeah, finally the body has been recovering. But today I will take you through my thoughts about Nice, my race. If you haven't watched it yet, we ended up swiping the podium. Casper having an amazing race, winning. Quite impressive performance, especially on the run. Gustav came back strong, second place, and I round up for the team with a third, but I will take you through a little bit more into the details. So yeah, let's head up.
What is that, Kristian?
Oh, this one. This is
Kristian.
my bed. This is where I'm sleeping most of the time. But this one is pretty cool. So I've been using it now for a couple of weeks. It's quite amazing. It's a 8-sleep pod here with water in it that has like a mattress that I put on top of my original mattress. So you can see here underneath here, there is like an 8-sleep mattress that brings a lot of water inside here that it can warm up. It can cool down the bed according to what the autopilot reckon I need, because it also has like sensors in it. So it's actually measuring my heart rate and my breathing frequency as I am sleeping. It's giving me more efficient sleep so I can recover better. This is last night. You see, time of sleep, 8:55, so pretty good. A little bit embarrassing because I actually forgot to put on alarm this morning, so I came late for swim practice. But yeah, let's not talk about that. But you can see like it's measuring like yeah, my breathing frequency as well as my resting heart rate during the night. So here you can see like how it's been over the week. So yeah, pretty interesting.
You can adjust the temperature based off the app.
I can adjust the temperature based on what I want, or I can just trust sort of this brain inside this one that's figuring out how I'm sleeping better. So for now, I'm just trusting the device, and it's amazing. It gives me more efficient sleep. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay, then we are rolling. 16 days ago, we were in Nice having the big target, the big goal for the season, the main World Championship in Nice for the very final time. An epic course with like a sort of 2 loops on the swim. It's like 1 loop is sort of coming back again almost to the beach and then out again before having like a big loop on the bike with 3 climbs. First flat section from the airport alongside the promenade, and then it's like a 20 minutes climb up to sort of Vans area, and then riding a little bit flat to Vans to Tourette-sur-Loop, and before doing like a big climb of about 45 minutes. And then it was like a flat section before a downhill, and then a 15-minute climb, and then a big downhill before doing 4 loops back and forth alongside the promenade, super flat conditions on the run. Yeah, a course that I thought could be challenging. Like that was also why we spent 8 weeks in Nice going into the race. First with 5 weeks in January camp that we've already made a vlog from, as well as 3 weeks leading into the race. Also made like a video from that race, no, from that camp, from a training session there. So we really invested a lot of time in Nice, myself, Gustav and Kasper. And yeah, I felt like I was in a great shape. I felt that the power was good on the bike, and I was ready to go when I was standing there on the start line. Quite different to maybe how I was actually feeling in Kona last year, where I was maybe a bit more unsecure on my shape. So yeah, I enjoyed being on the start line, doing the warm-up, feeling good. Yeah, was ready to go when the gun went off. The start was like 5 minutes past 7, so not too early. So that was quite nice for being an Ironman distance. My nutrition plan on the bike, as an example, was to have 6 Morton 320s within the frame, over 2 liters of liquid, as well as having Morton 320 in the bottle behind the saddle, as well as having 1 Morton 320 in the bottle between my arms. So having in total 10 packages of the 320 drink mix, which is 800 calories over the 4.5 hour bike course. Felt I had like an okay start on the way out. So basically a quarter of the swim, I saw that it opened up a small gap to Sam Laidlow, so I was sort of bridging up to him, and I felt that he was maybe the most dangerous guy to let go. So I felt as long as I was swimming sort of behind him and in his feet, I was sort of in a safe position. We swam back again towards the halfway point. I felt like the pace was okay, within my control, but it was like steady. And around that sort of turning buoy halfway through, that was also where I think the group was sort of getting split up, and Sam was even letting the group get away before he was stopping and having some issues with his lower back. And then suddenly the group sort of split it up, and first I didn't stress too much about it because again, I thought that Sam would be the most dangerous guy. And then I swam behind, I think it was Antonio Benito Lopez, who took the sort of lead in that second pack, with Rudy in second and me in third, and felt that the pace was slowing down quite comfortably. But in the same way, we didn't lose too much time to the front guys, because as we were swimming, I was like looking at my watch and keeping track of how much time we were sort of losing to them, and I felt we were still within a safe distance, in contrast to how it was in Frankfurt, where we lost like, I think, almost 2 minutes. So coming out of the water, like 45 seconds down, I felt that was okay, and had a okay transition. Went out on the bike just behind Rudy, and we were doing I was doing like 300 watts on the flat section towards the hill. And then as we were getting into the hill, there was like a lot of movement within the group. Suddenly Magnus Ditlev was already there. He was sort of getting around, and so Kasper there, and Gustav too. So it was a lot of sort of good guys around me. I thought that, okay, I'm gonna sort of be a little bit more on the aggressive side, riding up that first hill of 20 minutes. And I went to the front, and I realized early that the gap down to Rudy von Berg was a bit bigger than I was expecting. So I felt I was sort of stretching out the field, or the group there. And then we came up to the flat section, and Nick Thompson was sort of together with me, and we were quite comfortably catching people who were in that first pack. So I felt we were constantly like bridging up to strong riders, and we were having a good pace coming towards the big main climb. Again, it was a little bit like in the beginning, it's a little bit like okay, like change of positions within a group, because people are coming from behind, and suddenly I was down maybe 5th or 6th position before I was making my move, my way around towards the front again. And then Sam Lado came suddenly by again after fixing his issues in transition and riding quite steady. Kasper came around into second position, and I was in third position for the rest of that climb. Yeah, the pace was quite steady all the way towards the top. Yeah, my heart rate was around the threshold, LT2 on the way up. And then when we came towards the top, I think we had bridged down the gap from having been like almost 2 minutes at some points to back again to only 50 seconds. And then we came on to the like flat section, but it was quite strong headwind. And for the first few minutes, Sam was sort of putting the power in before he was like looking around and being a bit frustrated that we were still there. So then I went to the front without really putting any pressure on, or yeah, I was just going to the front without doing too much work. So then we lost quickly again 90 seconds to the front guys again. But I thought that as we were going down and then to that sort of out and back section, it would most likely be like tailwind on the way back. And I was expecting either Magnus or Sam to be putting down the hammer there. So I was more aware of like put myself in a good position there and be ready to really pedal on the way back before the first downhill. So I was then, yeah, just riding okay power towards that turning point. And then as we turned around, Sam was going to the front. That's where me and him was able to get away from that group and dropping Gustav and Kasper and Magnus and Nick Thompson. In the downhill, we were sort of getting sort of good feedback that we were catching the front guys, and I think the first one we saw was Jonas Schomburg as we were starting the climb. That sort of third climb, that was about 15 minutes. And then later up in that hill, we were catching Jamie Riddle too. And then on the flat section, or we could see Martin Vandré like 35-40 seconds up front. At that point, I think I really thought that I had the race in my pocket. I felt I was the strongest runner in the field, and I was sort of in the pretty good position. I just had like a 50k of downhill and a flat section back to downtown, and I thought that the gap back to the guys behind would just open up to be like 2 or 3 minutes. I was able to sort of follow, or being in touch with Sam and Martin in the downhill as I've done it many times. I really feel that the 8 weeks we have invested staying in the build-up this year have really made me confident in the downhill and really helped a lot. So I was quite pleased with the feeling that I was like remembering all the turns. So I was able to stay sort of in contact with Sam and Martin in the way down. But then as we came down after the whole descent, suddenly Nick Thompson and Gustav and Kasper sort of coming back into our group again. And yeah, I would say I was a bit surprised, but also I still felt like my legs was good. I felt I was doing the hydration well and nutrition good. I still thought, yeah, just don't overdo it now in the last 10k and I will be fine for the run. Coming into the second transition, sort of gave away like 20 seconds to Martin and Sam in the last 5k of the bike. But yeah, took it a little bit easier in the last part, and then felt good, I would say, for the first case on the run. It was tailwind on the way down, and we were running like 320 pace. I came out just in the feet of Gustav, and he was the one who was, yeah, sort of dictating the pace. And I was following him, looking down, 320, maybe, yeah. I felt it was like comfortably aggressive opening pace. So we were catching Sam and Martin, I think, at the turning point. And then it was a bit like cat and mouse as we were like running back again in the headwind. And yeah, pretty epic position to be running there with both Gustav and Kasper, feeling like it's basically just us, or typical Super Sunday as we're having the weeks before the race, where we are like training and sort of doing the same sessions together. I think it was after like 3 or 4k that Gustav also asked me like if my plan was just to stay here and wait until the final lap before making my move. And I just told him like, Yeah. Even though I hadn't decided where to make my move yet. Nej, den är inte på tur. Den. Okay, changing some light. The first one who was making like putting on a little bit of pressure on the run was Gustav. So he was picking up the pace in the headwind on the first lap after maybe 8k, and that was like really stretching up the field, and it's only me and Sam who was able or decided to try to follow him. And then Sam was quickly letting us go, and it was just me and Gustav. I think we opened up maybe 30 seconds to Kasper. So we run then out on the second lap out of 4 in the tailwind, turning around, heading back into the headwind, and then he started like asking me if I wanted to go to the front and taking the win, and I told him like, yeah, I don't feel the need to take the spotlight now. You can be shining if you want. And then he kept running a bit in the front before he asked me once again, and I told him that no, I don't need to be in the spotlight yet. You can be in the front and shine. And then I think he felt a bit like annoyed, so then he started like going quite slow out on the side, and we had to sort of start sharing the workload, and that also made that Kasper suddenly came back into the game. But in the same way, I felt like after 16, 17, 18k, the legs wasn't feeling as fresh as they did after 10k, and I started thinking that the second half of this race can be tougher than expected. I think the mistake I did there were that I wasn't good enough on getting enough liquid in on the run early. We had like 6 aid stations or 3 aid stations that we could catch from both sides of the run course. Looking back now, I think they were shorter than normal, and it was less of grabbing liquid. My experience in Frankfurt and Texas were that it was easier to get more liquid in, while suddenly in Nice, I think I realized that too late. I was also relying mostly on the special needs table we had on the run course, where we had like 1 bottle for each lap that we could drink. So that was like my nutrition for the run. I think I wasn't good enough of getting enough liquid in after I grabbed my bottles, and maybe I got just the carbs in sort of not evenly spread around on the run course. So I felt a bit flat after 16, 17, 18k. But then again, Kasper came back, and we were running there side by side as a trio, quite epic in one way. But then at that point, sort of the friendship is over, because then it's 3 guys running for the win. We also, all the 3 of us, knew that yes, you can sort of work together, but you're not sort of a domestique for each other. Like, it's a mind game there. Kasper went to the front. We opened up a gap to Gustav. I told him, we have a gap, let's push. And then he wanted me to go to the front, and I told him that no, that's not gonna happen. No, I just told him, if you don't keep running, then Gustav will catch back. So then he was a little bit frustrated, and I thought that, or I did actually struggle at that point. I was after like 25k, and I was sort of just waiting to get to the turning point and get into the headwind, because then I thought that it would be a little bit harder for him to run back again, and I would be able to recover a little bit more. But then he was putting the hammer down as we were turning back, as well as I was just quite cooked. Very quickly Gustav came back, and he was catching my back, and we were running together on the way back before heading out on the final lap. But at that point I was just cooked, and it was more a battle of getting home with a medal than being caught by Sam Laidlaw or Martin Mandril. And I was, in one way, I was pleased to be able to run with Gustav on the way out again, and then sort of get into the final 5k before having to do the struggle back home. And at that turning point, I also saw that Martin on 4th, who was running in 4th, was then 5 minutes back, which is a very comfortable lead, because then I could basically run a 5-minute pace for the final 5k and without being caught. I thought, okay, I'm probably gonna get 3rd place now, because Gustav just ran away from me and I started cramping up. But I was still able to run at like a 4-minute pace or so. But then at one point I just had to stop up, because the hamstring was quite screaming, and I had to sort of yeah, stretch it back again. And at that point, I thought I was a little bit afraid that I would be losing the podium sweep for the team, but I was able to hold it back and cross the finish line in third. And yeah, seeing Kasper and Gustav and sort of celebrating together was quite amazing. And yeah, like a situation we've been dreaming about doing together, even though we never agreed on the order we should end up in. But yeah, it's quite special to have a race like that together with the group, even though, yeah, I have a little bit mixed feelings. Of course, I wanted to take the win myself. I feel a little bit disappointed that I was putting together my weakest run when it mattered the most. But at the same time, yeah, I'm pleased and happy and proud of how the team was performing. So yeah, a very special day and a day for the history book. That's my Nice World Championship recap. And learnings, maybe I wasn't good enough with the nutrition on the run. I think that's the main thing. Of course, like the bike course was a tough one. I had to ride a lot of power in the climbs, but again, like I think it would have been difficult to do it any other ways. Like I was following Sam Laidlaw when he was making the move and catching up to the front. So maybe that was taking a little bit out of my legs, but again, I still think I should have been better for the run. So yeah, I only had one opportunity to race that on that day, and third place was what I came home with, which is putting me in a good position before Marbella in terms of the Ironman Pro Series, because now it's also 1, 2, and 3 in the Pro Series for the team, for the squad. So that's our next goal now. A similar epic course. I think it's 1,900 meters of climbing, but this time only over half of the distance. So it's almost as many meters of climbing as we had in Nice, which was 2005, I think, 2004. But then we had like twice the distance of riding. So it's a lot of climbing in Marbella. So it's going to be a lot of threshold work, getting ready for that one. And hopefully we can, hopefully I can take the win there. Then I can share the podium still with Kasper and Gustav. That's a wrap. Thank you for watching and supporting, and yeah, I do appreciate everyone who is following the journey and commenting stuff in the comment section, and yeah, I do read them all, and yeah, I appreciate your feedback and your support. Thanks for watching.